Hey YouTube, happy Saturday. Let's get down to the table and work on the next installment in our gel plate printing for mixed media art book. And welcome to my studio. I'm Robin McClendon. Welcome to my channel. For those of you who are familiar with me, big hugs and kisses, and you guys, you know how much we love to love on each other, and you guys are just amazing. And I know we're chatting it up right now over in Premiere. I love it. And for those of you who are new, please stick around a little bit and see if you like what we're doing. We do a lot of gel plate printing as a mixed media artist and printmaker. I really drill down into this. This is the book that I wrote and was printed by Schiffer Publisher. It came out October 28th, this past October, and we're working from it. I'm also a book artist and mixed media painter. So we do a lot of those type of things here on the channel. So stick around and join us for a bit and see if you like what we're doing. In the meantime, we are going to be working on we did ink blots last week, so we're going to be doing another exploration, and it's going to be glazing. So we're going to do glazing and vintage photo silvering technique. And it's an easy technique, but I'm telling you, there's so many different ways that you can perform this technique. In the book, I'm showing with some vintage prints that I have. They were like over 100 years old, and then I photocopied them, and then I did the glazing. And so they really look like, you know, something very old and ancient, and that's using this technique. My step-by-step was just cutting out of a good old-fashioned magazine and silvering it and getting this kind of image, which is really dreamy, and it's cool to work it back in with your prints. If you're a photographer, you know, go back through even just travel photography. Go back through those pictures, find them, print them out. You can use an inkjet or a laser. It doesn't matter for this process. The ones I'm using today are laser copies. And then do this very simple glazing, and you will transform those pictures, those photos, into something that's just absolutely amazing that you can work back in your work. And especially if you're using your own travel pictures and, you know, maybe vintage family pictures, they become such a significant part of your art. So I'm going to show you a couple of things. One of the things I love to do is I love to take my gel prints in which I'm doing my intuitive scripting and my brush work on them. So this would actually be a gel print that I pulled from the plate using some interference colors and using Sumi brush mark making. Then I took and I photocopied it using, in this case, a laser print onto the unbleached calligraphy paper. And those of you who ran into my shop and got them, I'll have some more in next month. I mean, I'm just doing my best to track this down because it's like so hard to get. But, and Amazon stopped carrying it for whatever reason. But I really like it because it's unbleached and it just gives a nice soft, it's not a harsh white. And so I feel like it integrates with the prints nicely. But anyhow, that's one there. Here's another one. So I just printed out a number of them, and then I will do this glazing technique over them. And so I'll take a photocopy that looks like this and glaze it and start getting some real interest to it. And it makes it look more like a gel print, which allows us to integrate it so much more nicely into our collages. So a lot of times, as opposed to trying to gel print a lot of these, if you find, or you might not even gel print them, you might just want to do your own brush work or your own mark making, then run it through the copier. I like to use the calligraphy paper or some sort of thin paper, especially when I'm doing this type of work, but you know, any paper would work. And then once you're glazed, they just work so nicely into your collages. I also take images. I took this out of an old book. I really was drawn to this black and white pattern there. I thought these were just beautiful. And so here's an example of an image that we'll be able to do this glazing on, and then use bits and pieces of it to do some collage work. And so we'll have some fun with that. This is that print that I pulled last week with ink blots on the menu tissue. And so I photocopied it on just white premium photocopy paper. And so that becomes a piece that can be glazed. And then I also did it on the unbleached. And so you can see how the unbleached is a little, you can sort of see the slight color variation. And so these are prints that we can glaze. So let's say you have gel plate prints that you like and I don't really want to use this yet, I don't know. Well, you can photocopy them and then do this technique. This was just some more papers that I just kind of thought this could do an interesting collage with this sort of mosque thing. So I did that. This is another one that we did last week and I photocopied it. And so, you know, this can be glazed and used. And then this is another print. This is the original print. And then this is the photocopy. These two are the photocopy. Okay, so let's get going with these and see what we end up with. And we're just going to do some glazing sections and also to show you what I do. I like to work very thin. So you want to work thin colors. So I'm going to work with the Color Shift, White Flash, Silver Flash, and I'm also going to work with Champagne. These are easy to get, Walmart, Michael's, Joann's. I wanted to use some ones that were easy for you guys to get. You know, I've been using some of the R's for some of them, and I know it's not easy to get those. So let's work with ones that we can get. And I also use this ice blue. I like the ice blue. And you can also use Martha Stewart in the Champagne. So there's a number of ones that we can use, but we're just going to get started. So one of the first things I would do is, let's put, I have this orange sitting there, and I know that I sort of like a gold with this. So let's just do, let me see. Really like, let's do this Champagne, which is kind of a silvery gold, but so let's just get down. We don't need a lot. I think what I'm going to do, just to warm this up a little bit, I'm just going to take a little bit of this, I don't even know, this paint is not old. And I'll just put a little bit of this in and mix it. And this will just warm it up a taste. Just a little bit. So kind of mix it around. And see, we just get a warmer gold there. So if I'm using colors like this, a nice warm color, then it doesn't hurt to kind of have a warmer gold. Now what you want to do is you really want to roll this out nice and thin, because we just want it to be glazed. We're not trying to cover up the image. We just ultimately want it to look glazed. So go ahead and put that down. Get a good seal there. So here's a photocopy on photocopy paper of a gel print. And then it's glazed, and that glazing just gives it just that little bit of, you see, so even if I wanted to rip this up and then use this in a print or use it along with a gel print, you really have something that it has a layer of paint on it. So now it's going to mix in much better with your gel prints than if you just kind of use photocopy paper. Okay, that's one example. Let's take and use the blue ice on this one. So this is the one that did some photocopy on, let's get a little bit more of it down, on calligraphy paper. But the thing is to get it thin. And it's okay if in some areas it doesn't take. Like if it's some areas it's got glazing, some areas it's just a paper. I find that that's interesting too, because it just gives a nice little push and pull. So don't worry if it doesn't always cover the whole thing. But see this ice blue? And when you look at it, you can really see that that paint is down there, but it's a really thin layer. You see that? So if I then wanted to 𝐈𝐍𝐄𝐈𝐍𝐈𝐍 this and use it in a collage, it already just looks like a gel print versus, you know, a photocopy. So you can see that. I mean, it's just good. And that little bit of paint really allows us to integrate this in to, let me see. Like here's this piece gel printed, right? And if you look at these two surfaces together, you see how they just work together, because you can see, your eyes see paint and paint, right? So it really does look, it's really simpatico. So that's another thing we can do. Let's go ahead and do this one. Let's put a white. This is the white flash. Okay, let's just get a little bit. Here again, we don't want a lot of layers. We just want it to be very, very thin. Honestly, you should almost not see anything down there. Sometimes it can just get to be a little bit too much, and then, but you still can use it. You know, sometimes I'll just come in and print on top of it, maybe just some scripting or something on top of it. See here again, just a nice thin layer. And in this case, it's some there. There's areas where there isn't color, and that's good too, because it really causes different reflections to happen. And I like that as well. Okay, so let's go with, let's print this. So this is the original gel print. This is the photocopy. And let's go ahead and use sort of this silvery interferon, which should be similar. And we should get a similar type of, move some of this over there because there's a lot. So I'm going to really rub it because I just don't want a lot. So it's going to almost look like there's nothing down there. And that's what you want. You almost want to look like, oh, it looks like it's all gone. And that's going to be perfect. Okay. Okay. So I could get a little bit more down. I'm going to put a little bit more on there because you'd see this there. So we're going to put, I'd rather err on the side of not quite enough than too much. So let's put that down and let's do it again. You can always add, but it's, I tell you, taken away does not work. So let's see. Because you can see the original has a lot of empty places. You can see some paint. You can see where there's no paint. And this was the original one. So in mimicking that, we don't want to lose all of the depth of color. Okay, so here you go. So you can see similarly, it's the same kind of thing, where there's some places where there's, you can see the paint, where there's some places there isn't. And these two together, yet this is the photocopy. I mean, I'm using two different color paints, but that's the photocopy and this is the original. I mean, great stuff. And so this stuff gets to be used in your collage just with a little bit of silvering, and it allows you to reuse your prints. Now what's cool too is that, you know, you can, if you don't have a copier, that's okay. Just if you can get out to your local, you know, let's do this one. Let's see, what do we want to do first? So I want to work with this We're going to print this one here. I'm going to show you something. We're going to do something with this. These are warm colors, so I really want sort of a warm goldy color, but not too much, right? Okay, let me see what I can find. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. So I'm going to use this Martha Stewart light gold. She has the light gold. She has champagne. She has, like, you can just try any of these. These are actually nice. You get nice pigment, but still not too much. And I like to specifically use the craft paints for this technique because they don't have a lot of pigment. And so for this technique, the inexpensive craft paints really work to our advantage. Okay, let's go ahead and put this down and let's get some glazing. Okay. Okay, so we got a nice thin layer. I'm going to put a little bit more down because I want to cover a few more areas. But you can see where it's not too much. See? But it just gives us enough to give us that sort of silvering. So let's get some more. So like I said, I've learned to err on the side of not having too much than to, not having enough than having too much. So much easier to fix not enough. And what I want, I'm not even going to put any there because this area is kind of where I want it. Because this other side pulled good. So let's see. In fact, what I'm going to do is, you can also spot. So I want to get that there. I want to get some here. So you can also kind of spot, pick it up so that, you know, you kind of control how much. Let's get this right here. You're kind of controlling how much you're picking up. Okay. That's good. Because now I'm going to use this as collage pieces. So you'll see what we're going to do with it. Now this black and white, I'm going to use the white because I want it to be a little bit more silvery for the contrast. So we're going to do a quick collage just for the fun of it, so you can sort of see how these things can be worked back into a finished piece, even if you're just thinking about it as collage pieces. Okay, that's good. I feel like I need a little bit more on that side. Okay. Working thin. Okay. Okay. Oh, that's good. Okay. Not too much that it covers a lot, but just enough. Okay. That's good. Alrighty. So, we're going to take this. Oh, wait a minute. I do want to... I pulled this out of a book. I just thought it kind of had sort of like a Moroccan sort of vibe. And so I'm going to go ahead and use this Silver Flash. It's kind of got a purpley tone to it. And I want to go ahead and pull this as well. And have fun with your vintage photos. And the more you experiment with it, the better your results. But I'm telling you, what it can do for your prints and just your collaging is so cool. Okay, yeah, that's good. So now we have this thing going on with that. Okay, so I will be back. I'll move the plate, and we're just going to do a quick little collage session, but just sort of have fun and sort of see what we can do with what we've just pulled. Be right back. Okay, so I sort of ripped up a piece of brown packing material. You guys know I've been doing a lot of this post-consumer waste art, and I'm using this stuff, and of course we all, you know, we love this. We're not foreigners to really loving this type of paper, but this is an idea that you can do for inside of a journal page. This can be a cover, the foundational cover for a book. It can just be a collage. So I'm just going to kind of work this as if maybe I was thinking in terms of a journal page or something like that. And let's just see what we come up with. So this is the photocopy of the print. And so what I'm going to do is, because this is this lovely calligraphy paper, I'm just going to use the water tear method just to get these edges off and to get something a little bit more irregular. Because this is a laser print, I don't have to worry about the bleeding. But if what you have is inkjet, I mean, I have my inkjet, and a lot of times I use it because I want the bleeding. So, you know, we make it work for ourselves. Okay, so I'm going to do this as if I'm working, let's say, a cover for just pages for a book. So I wanted to be able to see the brown around it, and let's go ahead and glue this up. So starting from the center and working our way out, I find that's the best way of doing this. You wanted to, let's say, you know, we're sort of doing this sort of theme of it. Could be a travel page. It could just be a foundation for storytelling, you know, whatever. I just had this in an old book, and I really started with liking that black and white image, and then I liked the building, I guess the cupolas or the rotunda aspects of the building. So well, let's play with that. Let's go ahead and put this down. Okay. Let's get a little bit of this off. I don't like that edge. Okay. Okay, so now that's the photocopy of a gel print, and already it looks like a gel print. So now what I want to do is I want to think about this piece first. So I'm going to just go ahead and cut this out. A little fussy cutting. And it's nice to even to start with images that you're attracted to in these kind of intuitive collages even, and just sort of see what storyline starts to formulate. So let's just see where I want to put this. I'm going to start off by putting this. I'm going to start off by keeping a square. You know, maybe I'll rip it. So at least I'll have a slightly torn edge. Let's just see what we decide to do here. Okay. Yeah, I think I like the slightly ripped edge. A bit imperfect. So just rip this. So. Okay, so I don't like the way that did. That wasn't right. So we're just going to go ahead and cut that little bit. Okay, so let's see. This could be floating here somewhere. So if I want this to be if I'm thinking about this as a cover, for a book, then it'll be perfect to sort of have that off the edge, right? And see how already it's already building up to something pretty cool. So I'm just going to, let me just rip this a little bit more, because now this is a little wonky and I'm not happy with it. So let's see if I can get this thing and end up with something that's not all gone by the time. Okay. I think this is, at least it's straighter. Okay, so this could go there. Okay, already that's nice. So then let's go ahead and get I feel like let's just do this. I think maybe this one is a little bit more prominent as a piece that could kind of go down here. So you see where I'm going with this. You could go through a lot of your old National Geographics. They're good for old, and a lot of them, the old ones from the 50s and the 60s and the 70s. I mean, you could do so much with them because those pictures are not even in use. And then if you alter it enough by, you know, cutting pieces out like we're doing here, using as collage elements, you don't have to worry about, you know, any kind of copyright infringement, which is really cool. So let's just get, and I'm just working fast here because I don't want to spend a lot of time. Take a lot of time up fussy cutting when really what I want to show you is how you can put these storylines into your books, into your journals very easily. And what's important is once you photocopy them using this glazing technique, I feel really allows them to integrate in a way that they become very useful. And I feel like they also become very interesting because they really have this vintage look to them. Let me see how much of this I want to have. So you see how we're, I like that. So maybe something where we have this going on, we have this, oh, that's good. We have this sort of overlapping. I mean, even those, just those two pieces are pretty cool. But let me see, I might just get, let's try this, oh, well, maybe this element right here. Let's try this corner piece. Just to add a little something. 3 elements are nice. That's actually nice. Okay, so let's go ahead and glue these down. So this would be, like I said, either a cover or a page. You guys know where we're going with this. But I wanted to show you this technique because I use this a lot in my own work, where I go back and I get a lot of images from my own, you know, especially in books and stuff like that, from my own library of images, and especially old, you know, family photos are the best, especially when you want to really use those photos in your work, but you don't want to destroy them. You may want to reproduce it over and over again in your work. So if you can take pictures, you know, make photocopies of them, and then just do this very simple glazing process, it's pretty cool. Let's put this, so I think I want that sort of hanging off right at the top of the page. So then if this is here, just kind of go back and figure out where your stuff's going to go. Okay. Righty. And then our last piece. So just a quick collage session to sort of give you some inspiration, see where I'm going with this, and maybe, you know, inspire some different ways for you to look at some of your own collage materials and your own, you know, sort of art mythos storyline around what you're creating. Put that there. Alrighty. So here we have it. So this this idea of travel elements, and you can see, looking at them very closely, we just have that little glazing on there. And this is ready to actually be a section that you can put in a book, like in a junk journal, or, you know, in the various journals you want to do. So you could actually, you know, take a lot of images, glaze them, do a lot of individual sections, and of course you could do something inside or whatever. Do these individual sections or segments or signatures, and then you have these ready to just to put in your journals and into your artwork, and do some really cool things with them. So that's glazing, to sort of create this antique sort of feeling, and also reusing gel prints to have them integrate in. I mean, that looks like that's a gel print, even though it is a photograph of one that's got a little bit of glazing on it. You wouldn't know. So I hope you guys enjoyed this quick exploration into vintage photo glazing, and give you some kind of cool ideas of some things to work with. I really like this. I'm gonna hold on to this because this is gonna go into one of my journals. And until next time, please thumb up the video if you enjoyed this, and also join the community. Hit the bell, hit all if you're new to my channel, and you can join us weekly. And I think that's everything. Until next week, love you guys. Please enjoy your week, enjoy your studio time, and I look forward to seeing, you know, your glazed vintage photos and all the cool stuff that you guys are already doing. All right, bye bye. Love you guys.